Yes, welcome.
Soul Sessions with Michelle and Narda. I'm Michelle and
Yes.
so it's so good of you to join us. And you know what we do? We start everything off by giving thanks. We are thankful
Yes,
to have you here with us, sweet soul, for your energy. We feel its warmth.
definitely.
Narda, my soul sister, I love
Oh
you.
gosh, I love you too.
More love. And now let's get ready to see what are our downloads for today. Doom, 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 doom. What is the music? Downloads for today, Narda. What is on your heart?
Well, I had a number of things a number of downloads in this past week, but I was trying to kind of like figure out what would be the most for the audience and for the collective. And
Yes.
you know what? What really sat in my spirit is the fact that so many of us are called, right? Divinely called. So many of us are. God is divine creator, universe, the great I am. I gotta name everything. The
Yes.
expression of God is calls us ever so often to like be set apart,
Hmm.
to go through our own inner healing, go through our own inner, journey. Set apart meaning away from the typical friends, away from the typical family, silent time, meditation time, and so oftentimes it is something that we fight. And I just feel as though that's a message for a lot of people. A lot of people really run from that time. Hi, Omar.
Omar, it is great to have you. Hello.
Yeah, so it's like that silent time being called by God, called by the divine force of the universe to be set
Yes.
apart, to really be recalibrated, to be, cleansed, to be to listen in and tune in and to lean in, you know?
I love what you're saying there because I've had moments like that. I know you have as well.
Mhm.
And I want to take the time to say hello to Brandon. He's saying,
Ah!
"Hello." It's great to have you, Brandon. But I agree with you.
Mhm,
There are moments when you are being called away from the hustle and bustle
mhm.
to have those moments of introspection,
Yes,
retrospection,
yes, yes.
down to the depths of your soul, which I
Mhm,
label soul spection.
mhm.
Heart and mind for me today would be the understanding that you feel it before you see it. Now, you may
Mhm,
see it in your mind's eye, but before it
mhm.
materializes physically, before it is in front of you for the
Right.
world to see. Hi, Sasha. It's great to have you. Hello, 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 in the words of Narda. I was calling Narda on the phone and getting my hello, hello, hello. But heart and mind today is that you feel it before you see it. And I'm
Yes,
going to
yes,
tell you a
yes.
story. We work so much, especially if we're very drawn to spirit on our spiritual being, but it is about balance. So, in
Mm.
this holistic approach, mind,
Mhm.
body, spirit, I started the gym. So, I started working out. And with that, I started to feel it. I started
Mm.
to feel sexy before I could see sexy.
You are sexy
Sexier,
nonetheless.
sexier.
Right.
So, feeling it,
Mhm.
I put on a hot dress. You know, the dress like you call your knock 'em dead dress. It had a slit right up, and you had to tie it at the waist. I'm feeling fine. I go to the car wash, and the girl comes up to me. She mentioned that she was customer service for the car wash, and we started to talk because I found that was amazing. It means that the car wash is doing so well.
Wow, yeah.
They're able to have a customer service department, and I was blown away by it. I found that
Mhm.
it was something worthy of commending. So I was telling her about that, and we're having our chuckles. I knew she was being kind. And then I realized why she was being even kinder by
Mm.
opening the door and whatnot. She said, Mama, what are you doing here with your belly? Next time, send somebody else. I was like, don't worry about us. We're good, girl. We're good. We've got this.
Oh
Two
my.
things. We need to get out of the culture of assuming everyone is pregnant. It could just be an oversized stomach like mine was.
Oh my gosh, the COVID belly.
The COVID belly,
I'm not
the
gonna exclude
quarantine,
myself from there.
the quarantine 15. But I smiled. I kept the chuckle going. I didn't want to offend her because I know she didn't mean in any way to offend me. So
Right,
I
right,
embraced
right,
it and
right, right.
continued to receive my kindness.
Mm-hmm.
But in looking back, I realized, there's the lesson there that we feel it before we can see it. And when we feel
Mm,
it, we move with the action
yes,
of it. And that is
yes.
what allows us to see it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
using that experience with my now being a confirmed Jimmy
Love it.
to say I'm feeling it,
Mm-hmm.
not yet seeing it, but because I'm feeling it, I see it. But it's just
Mm,
time before everyone else around me
right,
they're able to see it too. So feel it.
right.
You have to feel the feeling of joy at times
Mm,
before you actually feel the feeling of joy. You have to feel the feeling of abundance before you actually feel the feeling of abundance.
yes, 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 yes,
Tune
yes,
into what
yes.
that is and feel it. And as you feel
Mm-hmm.
it, then you will see it. Using any of these words, intellectual property, okay?
You know, as you're saying that, that reminds me of a whole bunch of stuff. Even my own past experience, keep flipping through, and then even we talk about the finished work of Christ. That is, it's not a religion, it's just we talking about spirituality. We're talking about, even Jesus on the cross, and saying greater works than I have done, you shall do. I'm not a scripture
Definitely.
quoting person, but
Yes.
that's the basics. And the finished work of Christ is like it is done, it is done, it is done, it is done. And that is something that in Jesus's later days he emphasized. His later moments, it is done, it is done. And I don't know if I ever told you about it, so I'm going to share it with the audience. There is a Chinese hospital. I don't know if it's still functioning in China, where there's these practitioners, these doctors who literally surround their cancer
Right.
patients, and they have a monitor that they monitor like a tumor or something, and they all gather around these patients. And what they chant, it is done, it is done, it is
It
done,
is
it is done.
done.
And they literally monitor as they're all chanting and raising this high vibration. On the monitor, they're seeing the tumor shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrink. You can check
Wow.
it up on YouTube. It's like it's so amazing. Like these things are great reminders. This is like how we should live. And Michelle, thank you for that reminder, because I can remember many times the big things that have manifested in my life was all through that power of gratitude and
Yes.
sitting in it as though it's already done, whether it be
Yes.
for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes. And it wasn't something continuous that I did. It was something in a moment, and I just let it go. And down to like even meeting Dr. Michael Beckwith and working with him and having conversation with him. Like this is a person that I had previously heard of through The Secret. And now he's, everywhere. And I remember, this might be silly, but this was like 10 years ago in my apartment in Brooklyn. I'm laying in my bed and I'm pretending I'm having a conversation with him. Now, Nada was learning all these different law of attraction techniques. I was like, oh, what is gonna hurt to have this to pretend? And I
Yes.
was feeling this conversation and and I put it out there and I just let it go. No attachment to even seeing this man
No
or meeting
attachment.
this man, nothing.
Yes.
And then came about, I want to say like 2-3 weeks later, someone, a Facebook friend, she booked a session with me. This
Yes.
is a long distance healing session, and she did the session and she had such great results that she told another friend of hers that came and booked a session for her boyfriend's sister, and all of these people. And for me, it's never who a person is. It's who they're dressed in this world as, the personality or their career or anything. So I never asked the lady who she is. I don't care, soul to soul, heart to heart, we're interacting. Then after doing the sessions in the next few days, she was like, do you know who I am? And she said,
Hmm.
I'm Hollywood producer so and so. My boyfriend who did the session is Hollywood director so and so. He directed so and so movies. So they had a screening of a movie they were gonna have it like in 2 weeks later in New York. Guess who was in the green room? And I did have my conversation, Dr. Michael
Oh
Beckwith.
my goodness.
And that was the
This
beginning of meeting him.
this reminds me of a friend of mine. I'm not going to say her name. She's pretty well known,
Mhm.
but she won an international competition, and she was sharing that she kept writing, writing, writing,
Mm.
writing. That she won, and she just embraced that before winning it.
Yeah.
And there's something you said before when you were speaking about the doctors gathering around the bed saying that it's done. There was one morning we woke up and my firstborn son, he was probably 2 or 3 at the time, he just could not walk. He was unable to move. And eventually he couldn't even speak. Of course, we rushed him to the hospital. They did several tests. They did not have an idea of what it was. And while everyone was preparing for possibly the worst, my husband and I, we got together and we said, no, we come together and we cancel out these plans right now. And we just affirmed all things positive, declared all things positive in his life. And exactly what you're saying there, we continuously repeated, it is done, it is finished, it is working. And we just literally picked him off of the hospital bed and we started leaving and he started walking. And we always, every time, we need to remember a miracle. Those are one of the many miracles that we remember. The power of your word, the power of affirming what you
that
see.
power within your heart, that energy coming up. Yes.
Feel it before you can see it. Now you're seeing it in your mind's eye. You're seeing it here. You're seeing it. But feel it. As Dr. Joe Dispenza always says, he says that basically your feelings, that operates as the magnet that attracts everything to you. So it's one thing to see it with your mind's eye, but you have to feel it as well. And then, as you rightly said, Narda, release it. Release it and just allow it to be. That's the confidence in knowing that it's coming to you. You just let it go.
That release, that detachment. There's an example I give my clients. It's like a balloon with a string on it. And the string, envision a balloon and envision the string. Hi, Jasmine. California in the house.
Hi, Jasmine.
So the balloon with the string, and the balloon is the thing that you're desiring, is the prayer, is not desiring from the human, design given the vision that God have placed in your heart. That's something that's impossible. That's the vision right there, and the string connected to it, and the string is often, when is it going to happen? How is it going to happen? Why? But if you don't release it, the balloon won't go up to heaven, go up to the creator to be manifested. So you have to release it. Otherwise, you're pulling this thing and it's bobbing, and it's not going up. You know? So, yeah, that's an example.
Allow it to go up. I love that imagery that you gave. That's so true. And remember when we did Brand New last year, in one of the Brand New sessions that I did, I spoke about the power of amen. And I see Sasha John Charles quoting that seminar that I offered online, in which I spoke about the power of amen. So thank you very much, Sasha. Beautiful. And talking about authenticity as well, while yes, we learn from each other, I think what is very important is that persons need to really embrace their authentic selves and start getting some of their own. If you get something from somewhere, be able to credit where it comes from.
Right.
And it's okay if you're able to get your own inspiration from something, but ensure what you're doing is authentic and it's in line with what came directly from within you, as opposed to something that would have impacted you outside of yourself. So take time to ponder on what persons offer to you, but make it your own by being able to deliver what comes directly from you to be your true authentic self. As Oprah would say, you know.
We can have a whole conversation about authentic self. Like that is something immense.
Correct. You know? Correct. Yep. So Narda.
Yes, my darling.
Soon we're getting the opportunity to meet. And I want to...
The last time we saw each other was 2 years ago.
That is true. And it feels like just yesterday because you're always with me. And I think that is the soul connection that we have.
Definitely.
But even the feeling it before you see it, how some of the things manifested for us, it was exactly that. We felt it.
Yes.
We said it is done. It is finished.
Yes.
We just declared that we are going. We are getting there. And it happened. It was in episode 3 that we got a trip to Fort Lauderdale. By episode 4, we were invited somewhere else.
So Omar,
Omar says the power of the mind, followed by power of words, finally the power of action.
Mm-hmm.
The choice always is use your energy for the positive at each level.
Yes.
Definitely,
And the
definitely.
authentic self at each level,
Yes,
like sincerity and really sinking into your heart and really the well being. You can't want to manifest something, and in that manifestation is going to be hurting other people and
correct.
affecting negativity. That is creating
Exactly.
some negative karma. And, the very thing that we do to others, we are doing it to
To
ourselves.
ourselves. I
Yeah.
agree with you on that fully. Whatever we do to someone else, we're doing to ourselves. And it's so important that we take the time to say, would I treat myself like this before we treat another
Mm,
some way? As
right.
my husband says, how we treat others, we treat God. And it's something from
Mm,
him that I
that
always
is so
hold
true.
on to and share because I sincerely believe so as well. Also, want to say hi to Daniel Bishop. It's great to
Oh,
have you, Daniel. He is of Heaven Sent Productions. And it was just last evening I was speaking to Daniel and I said, you have the most perfect name for your business because it
mm.
truly is heaven sent.
Oh,
The
wow.
amazing things that he's able to do, heaven sent productions. He said,
Beautiful, beautiful.
awesome, awesome. So I think it's that time, Narda, in which we do some soul inspection. What do you
Yes.
think?
Yeah.
Now I'm pulling this one out from one of my journals. This has not even been published yet, so you're getting
Oh,
some
yes.
first-hand stuff. It's called Diamonds and Gold. Some look at the dirt. I prefer to search for the diamond. In order to sell, shock and awe headlines are fashioned. We focus on statistics that are climbing and shaken by the price of oil declining. Yet, the jewels in this we must seek to find, though harsh in some ways to us, COVID 19 has been kind.
Mm,
I received warm calls from friends with whom I lost touch, family life for some restored after from it. The TikTok world took so much. We were able to realize what is temporary and focus on forever.
mm,
Most of us developed an even greater appreciation for each other. Well, a kitchen now became a sanctuary as the fondness for taste of home grew. We discovered thoughts within us that before we never knew.
mm,
Bosses that were biting became puppies out of fear, their mighty towers tumbling, their financial coffers bare. Mummy Tier got a spade. Now her beauty is all aglow. Fauna and flora we haven't seen in some time and now putting on a show. What you focus on, you capture. So I will dig for this gold. Stay in a constant state of thankfulness and gratitude as I pray for our world.
mm.
So that is titled Diamonds and Gold. May you
Wow.
always, when
Wow.
there's dirt, search for the diamond and dig for the gold. Love and light to you.
Wow. 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 And it's like, in between that, I was hearing somewhat of what we coming up in my own heart and about what I shared a little while ago about the tuning in.
Yes,
And it's the COVID experience, the lockdown experience being an opportunity, a true
definitely.
opportunity to tune in, you
Yes.
know?
You
Yeah.
have said that. That is something I believe within the core of me.
Yes, yes, because I have seen even with myself and with clients, a lot of people, you and I, we know we take a daily approach to our spiritual growth, about our healing and stuff, but a lot
Yes.
of people being so captivated and immersed into like life living, um, the bills, which we all have bills, but you know what I mean, like the work and everything else and everything that the distractions of life have presented and
Yes.
make that the identity. And I really feel it's without a doubt that COVID, the lockdown, was an opportunity for literally pause for a cause. And pausing for a cause was the cause was actually tuning back into self.
Yes.
And it's the opportunity, all divine free will, whether a person choose to use it for that or chose to distract themselves even further. It was all a choice within a person. And I have seen a lot of clients, a lot of people who have now switched over into their career paths, switched over into their purpose, switched over into, ended old relationships, rekindled relationships,
Yes.
grew. So yeah, such an
That's
incredible thing.
so vital. For me, it was amazing when you saw in different parts of the world when we first heard news of COVID-19, the pandemic, and all that was
Mhm,
taking place. It was
mhm.
mind blowing when they
Yes.
showed you animals that they have not seen in certain areas for some time now resurfacing. And
Mhm.
I just found that we should have been taking a deep, deep
Yeah.
dive
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
how have we been treating Mother Earth? How have we
Right.
been treating
Right.
ourselves? I
Yes. Yes. Deeply.
yeah, I always love how you say tuning in, Narda, because
Yeah.
I can't say it any better than that. It gave
Mm.
us that opportunity that I'm grateful for.
Yeah. And leaning into God and leaning on God, divine creator. But
Yes,
it's so interesting how, how we treat with the nature, we treat with ourselves, we treat with, it's like pretty much humanity haven't been doing a great job. Humanity haven't been caretaking each other, caretaking nature, caretaking anything. Have done it's totally encompassed with all of this distraction. And God really, it's the first time I really feel like it's such a historic thing for us in our life to see the entire world be put on pause at the same time. That is a
yes,
marker of something huge. I think that is something, and I don't want to come from any energy of fear or anything, but it's one a big wake up call for humanity to say something happened beyond your control that put you on pause for so long without you. There's nothing you could have done. So all you could have done really is to lean into God and lean on God and tune in. That's it. And even
yes,
now, ride that wave, continue to ride that wave. Don't, not because things are beginning to get back to some sort of normal means that you forget what God did for you 3 months ago or a year ago. Continue
yes.
with the healing. It's I'm getting an example of somebody that I know who, recently been placed in a very sticky situation. And oftentimes when we're in sticky situations, who we go to? Not God, right? You seek help, and that's all of a sudden when you want to work on yourself and you want to dive deeper into things and you want healing. And then when things go back to some sort of normal, you forget that. People forget the healing, the triggers, the traumas, the limiting beliefs that have been coming up. They forget all of that. But it's so important not to wait for another rock bottom experience, not to wait for another wake up call to then return and to return to self.
Yes.
You know?
That what you're saying is so true. Don't give up on the lessons that you would have
Yeah,
learned and the positive habits that you would have picked up.
yeah.
And that, going to God, don't stop it now because you feel
No,
like things
even
are
or do it. Yeah,
returning to some semblance of normalcy.
yeah, yeah.
Continue on that path and keep going.
Definitely,
Keep growing,
definitely.
growing and glowing.
I love it. But it's so interesting. A lot of people during the COVID and the lockdown experience, and I call it an experience because it was that an experience, a human experience. A lot of people were working and still having to struggle through life, and not everybody were given the opportunity to pause for a cause. But I feel like even now you can still reflect on what was showing up for you at that time. And the whole reason I'm in this line of work is to go to the root of things, to get to the bottom of things. And
Of
you can
course.
still return to the, like as I said, return, but you can still go back into the past and really reflect on some things that, that pocket of time, what it was presenting for you right now, time travel, as I love to call it.
Yeah. I time traveler. Time too is just a perception, really.
Yeah.
That goal that you have, the dream, the vision that you're Narda's term, tuning into,
Hmm.
that you're in the energy of, as I would say, if you're in the energy of a certain goal, a certain dream, in a certain vision. If you can see it in here, it's because it's ready to come out there.
Yes,
It's
yes,
ready
yes.
to be born into this world. So feel it before you see it.
Yeah.
And it's like you just stay on that path and believe and just walk closer towards it. Just keep going. I think of Joseph too, when Joseph's brothers were laughing at him, the 12 tribes of
Yeah.
Israel. And they were laughing and then wanting to know, first things first, how dare he think so much of himself? But it wasn't that. He saw it. He felt
Mm.
it. He knew it
Yes. Oh my
in
gosh. You're
him.
opening up a pocket of information here, Michelle.
He was
Mm,
he was
mm.
sold. They wanted to kill
Yeah,
him. Some may
yeah,
want to
yeah,
kill
yeah.
you for your belief, for
Oh
your
my
vision,
gosh.
for your goal, for your dream. They may laugh, they may jeer, they may not care, they wouldn't
Yes.
want to support you with it. They may sell you off and
Yeah.
send you
Create
to a foreign
cause
land.
create rumors about you.
But it is
Discredit
all
you. Hmm.
happening in your favor. It was all
Yeah,
needed because
yeah,
he was just moving into his destiny, into
yeah.
his purpose, and that's happening for you too. So in the
Mhm.
comment section, place that right now. I'm moving into my purpose. Put it in the comment section. I'm moving into my purpose. Believe it, feel it, see it. I'm moving into my purpose. Let's
Yeah,
claim it right now and put it into the comment section because you know you've had those moments and there's so many other moments like that to come.
yeah.
I'm seeing Michaela Pandey is here with us and she says such inspirational women
Indeed.
like you.
Oh, thank
My
you.
big sister. Thank you, Michaela.
Indeed.
Love and light to you. My mom, Roxy,
Oh, mommy.
she says good afternoon, ladies. Love you, mommy.
Oh.
And Umar is saying COVID reminded humanity of its own fragility.
Mm,
What resulted was a reminder to be humble and to be in
indeed.
gratitude and cherish life and the
Yeah.
ones we love. Definitely. I feel that deeply, Omar.
Yes,
So
yes,
put it
yes,
in the
yes.
comment section. I'm moving closer to my purpose. Just keep
You know,
moving.
Michelle, as you're saying this, it's like this bubbling up, more things to share, right?
Oh, wow.
And it's so important, like when we are given the vision, you're
Yes.
given the vision. And I've heard, people talk about, oh, is that a dream? Nothing is just a dream. If it's
No.
dropped into your spirit, it's not just a dream to possibly happen. If it's placed there, it's implanted there for a purpose, right?
Yes.
And so often you are given the vision, the person, the
Yes.
individual, and you get so excited within your soul and you want to share it with everybody. You want to go and tell this, you want to tell your parents, you want to tell, and they don't have the tools or the bandwidth in their mind or in their heart to be able to contain that
Yes.
level of purpose or that level of a dream or desire. And
Yes.
even if, like, I see it a lot with young kids, going into to college, to into university, they're being guided to go study something, and the parents like, well, no, 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 the market is not for that, blah blah. I had to get very Trini there in my accent, right? The market is not for that. For my international people who are listening, like the industries are not like that. If God, the
Yes.
creator, the great I am, has placed
The
it in
great
your
I
soul,
am.
the
It
direction and the
did
directive within you,
for a
who
reason.
you gonna listen
Yes.
to? Listen in, tune in. And for parents, please learn to nurture your children what they are innately given. We all have this inner GPS. We all have this what is given to us, what is like an inner manual,
Yes.
or little bits of pieces of information within us that will pop up when it's right, the right divine timing for certain things. And listen into your children. You may not know exactly for your child. Your role is to support, to nurture, to love, to care for this child, to keep this child alive, and to help train and coach this person, but not to make them go your will. It's not
No.
about your will, it's the will of God, the will of the creator, the
Indeed.
very creator that breathed breath into the child.
They have their
And
own inner sensing.
indeed, and oftentimes mothers say, I give you life. Let's get real. You didn't give the child life. The child passed through you. The woman's body is a portal from the spirit into the physical. A woman's body is such a profound, powerful being,
Yes.
such a profound energy that could transport a child from pure soul straight into the physical reality. So when you
Yes.
think about it like that from a spiritual perspective, that is such a profound thing. So mummies, women, You
Listen.
didn't breathe life into this being. Our role as anybody who's given the privilege of having a child, and
Yes.
even if the child wasn't planned or it just showed up spontaneous, you have to like get right with yourself and understand that you are here to caretake
Hmm.
that young soul, that individual, that baby, to be able to birth. I can go off and off because I'm very passionate about
No,
these things.
hold on. We need to have some clappers on screen for you, my sis. Clappers, clappers, because
Yeah.
what you have said, oh my goodness, it's so profound, and so many things started to just be downloaded into my spirit from hearing that.
Mhm.
Now, what came is the importance of listening to our children. They do
Yes.
have their own internal sensing, and we need to trust that and stop saying to children, this is what you need to do, this is how you have to be, this is where I see you and want you,
Exactly.
messing with what is their internal guide. While,
Mm,
yes, we encourage them, we guide them along the way, we still have to trust them.
yeah.
Trust that they're going
Mm,
to make the right decision
yes.
based on what we've poured into them. And as we've been speaking about the period of the pandemic, before the pandemic actually hit, what happened was my eldest came to me and said he wanted to be privately tutored,
Mm,
like the two younger ones were being. And at first I was like, no, but you're already in school, you're in public school, and you're not just learning in terms of the academic part of it, but you're getting the opportunity to socialize. And I think that that is also an important part of growing up. He did a full presentation. When I mean a full presentation, he was in a shirt, a tie, soft pants. He had things presented on a board. He had his phone to do a slide presentation. He took video footage of moments when he saw different fights in school. He took also some records of how many times he had free periods. So he gave us the pros
the
and
bill
cons.
six, yeah.
Here's why I think I should be moved, because this is not working. And here's what I would have the opportunity to do. I'll
Mm,
be able to study on my own time. I already know what I want to do.
right.
Let me just focus on that. And after that period, I felt like, Michelle,
Mm,
this child is onto something.
yeah.
And persons who know of this story, they now say, hey, Michelle, did you know that this pandemic was coming? And no, my children, they were already doing school online and everything, because
Mm,
this is what
wow.
they told
Wow.
me they needed. The
Wow.
younger two, well, I have four children, but the ones who are of school age, the younger two, they were the ones who came and also said, okay, no, this lessons teacher, we're learning so much from her. We want to ensure that we can be privately tutored. And I'm happy that I didn't just say to them, you must do this
Mm,
because.
right.
And I'm happy that I took the opportunity to listen. And my
Yes.
husband, my mother, my stepfather, we all came together and thought, these children are making sense. And we
Yeah.
listened, and it worked out for their benefit.
Mm.
The
You
other
really.
thing that came as we were speaking about authenticity earlier on, while we encourage persons to be authentic and embrace their true authentic self, I always love when Oprah says that phrase, and I
Mm,
love to credit her for it. Many times when you have ideas, and we were speaking about Joseph, let's say you share the idea with someone and you see them copying it or trying to do a version of it.
right.
Don't feel, yes, it may hurt. It will hurt. It will hurt because you feel violated in some way. But don't be moved by it, because here's the thing, what came to you is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Someone may try
Exactly.
a version of it, but they wouldn't have the you-ness of you in it. So anything you do will always automatically be different. They can copy, but it will always be a carbon copy. So
That is
appreciate
so
that,
true.
embrace that, and just know that creativity connects us to our creator. So always,
Mm-hmm.
while we may be inspired from each other, learning from each other, feeding off of each other in some way, always gather the information, but ensure whatever you're doing is speaking of the
Yes.
you-ness, the trueness that is within you, because
Yes.
creativity connects us to our creator. Give thanks for it.
Yeah, beautiful. Oh my gosh, Michelle, you're going in. So what be coming up for me as you were saying that is,
Yes,
let's address the parents with the kiddies, with the children who are divinely attuned to God. Yes, Sina. Oh my gosh.
are you seeing
Parents. She's such a sweetheart. Yeah,
I can
the
imagine.
people who are, you know, parents might be like, but I want to make sure my children's safe. I want to make sure that they're good. I want to make sure that they're going on the right path. Hear what? And the first 7 years of a child's life is the formative years. That's
Yes,
the time the child is an absolute sponge. That's the time that the parent have to dedicate from the time the baby's in the womb. The child is absorbing subconsciously all these things in the environment, even what the mother is feeling, even the influences of the mother. There's a lot of things that I've seen in my career through hypnosis and otherwise in the past 12 years of how much a mother could influence and a father could influence, and how the mother is feeling about the father could influence the baby from even then. So the baby's bones and organs are being formulated from the time that the child, and from the time the baby is in the womb. So
they're
whatever the mother
absorbing
is
the
feeling,
UV.
yeah, from the time whatever the mom is feeling, if is there's abuse, that energy is what the child is growing into. So the first 7 years of the child's life, some people might say 8 or even 9, but those are the formative years where the child absorbs all of these things. That is when a parent have to understand, I am this child's coach. I'm
Yes,
here to mentor this child. And to take from that perspective, yes, the loving parent, but that is not, you feel a lot of parents have this perspective that, oh, when they get older, I'll start to teach them stuff. No, 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 no. Start to teach them from that point. Start to impart wisdom. Start to give them information. Start to be very careful and mindful of what they're feeding their minds, the subconscious, their conscious mind with. Even like a lot of people, screen time, the tablet. Be mindful of what the children are watching. These things are going into their subconscious mind. And you know when it begins to manifest? When they get older, when
hmm,
it turns into them as an adult. So parents, it's so important, you gotta take parenting very seriously,
yes,
very mindful that you're the nurturer of this child. It's your job to pay attention to what this child's innate giftings and abilities, to be able to discern it, to be able to raise them, feed them spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, get them into things that you didn't have as a parent, as a person growing up. Not to say feed them with all this materialism. You want to
yes,
teach them how to, children, it's so interesting. A lot of kids will get excited over a cup or a box or a rock or a piece of, like a stick. The simplicity of the sum as a toy. They would leave, like I even see my 2.5-year-old nephew, Isa.
wow,
Isa gets excited over a box. Isa
yes,
has all the toys. Mind you, like probably at least 50 times what I ever had as a child growing up. But this kid, he would leave that simply for a box. Simply to go play with a box, get into the box, pretend it's a car or something.
yes,
It's to teach a child simplicity. It's to teach them how you teach them is how they will go. And so begin to feed and nurture that child from the time that child is in your tummy. That
yes,
I can get very detailed about what I've had clients as adults,
yes,
come because of childhood trauma from within the womb. Even the parental abuse between each other, the mother
yes,
hitting the father abusing the mother, those things, and the child has grow with a hate for the parent, whatever.
yes.
The programming begins from there.
Being a mother of four, I can fully attest to what you're saying. I always say
Mhm.
to anyone that would meet me and I start speaking about children and pregnancy, etc., I feel as though exactly how I would have been
Mm,
during my pregnancy. I see so many
yeah.
elements of that within each of the children. Like, for example, my eldest, uh, when I was having him, I was so young, so innocent, so
Mm,
naive, so abundantly filled with love, such a fresh canvas. And I
oh,
was very timid, very shy,
mm,
and still at the same time, an irony because I'm outgoing, yes, but still I'm an
mhm.
introvert with extrovert qualities. And I
Right.
see that very much in him.
Yeah.
The wanting to always search deeper in
Yeah.
terms of spirituality. And I see that with him. For my second, I felt like I was very much a warrior. You couldn't tell me no. I was like, I
Yeah.
am craving food and I will have the food I crave. She has that type of you
Wow.
when it comes to food. I'm
Yeah.
like, girl, where you get that from? And then I
Mm-hmm.
remember when you were pregnant with her, the way you would act for cheesecake, for wings,
Right.
for food on the whole. I see that.
Yeah.
But I see her bravery because, especially when I was pregnant with her, I felt very brave. With my third
Mm.
child, I was definitely an adventurer. There was no stopping me. I was about, I think, 7 months pregnant, and I was flying on a plane, going here, there, everywhere. I was diving from a banana boat
Mm.
in the Bahamas, swimming to the bottom of the ocean for starfish, and I was like,
Right.
ah, I do it. And normal Michelle
Yeah.
getting me to do those things, I am like, I can't imagine myself doing it, but I did it.
Right.
And she's very much like that.
Right.
She is ready to go, ready to charge,
Yeah.
traveler, an explorer.
Yes.
Fourth child, I was busybody, working, doing every. He is definitely a busybody. 2 years of age, and I love all of them dearly. So
Oh gosh.
I can attest to what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Let,
definitely.
let, let me break some sort of information. Like, um, in terms of, remember, I get the clients who are the adults, right?
Yes, I
I have some clients who are teenagers as well, but I have the clients who are adults. By the time they get to me, they are all, they have already manifested based on the programming from child
right.
abuse, the
Yes,
childhood trauma. Blah. You
yes,
know, one of my clients, she actually, when she was in her mother's womb, her mom and dad was really abusive, like fighting, punching, all of that. The mom had to, it was a very abusive domestic situation, and the mom had to
yes,
leave the marriage. And so from the time she was in the womb, she was experiencing all of that.
yes,
She had not had a relationship where the man didn't abuse her. So then she felt her worthiness was being developed from then. So then you can imagine the work, and some people have to be willing to do the work, to begin to really step into their true selves.
yes.
So the impact that can have, and that's why soul hypnosis, like a lot of clients go back to the womb, they automatically go back. That's where God takes them back into the womb, and then they're crying and they're preaching and they're like, oh, my mom don't want me, or I'm feeling this, I'm not feeling wanted, she wants, that is where it's not. Even if the mom tried to abort the baby, the mom was going through she was going through her own stuff. She was emotional, she was crying, she was going through a breakup with the baby's dad. She was going through her own emotional stuff. And so here's something that I have to share
Oh,
together with what I
wow.
shared about the portal, about the mom being the portal. Here's the
Yes.
deal. When
Mm.
it's so important when a woman is pregnant for her to pay attention to what is bubbling up to the surface, what is
Of
coming up for her
course.
emotionally, mentally. So
Yes.
here's the thing, it's not something to suppress and distract yourself from. Even more, it's something for you to dive into your own inner healing. Get the help that you need. Go as deep, do what you have to do. Seek people like Michelle and myself, or anybody that you can talk to, counsel, you, psychologist, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Purge those things out. Go into your traumas, release it. When that is not done, comes postpartum depression.
True.
Here's the thing. Postpartum is a result of the things when the child comes through the portal. The child is bringing so much light into this
So
world.
much.
It
Yes.
is reflecting on your own inner darkness. So
Mm-hmm.
what is not healed, and it's so, even in this concept, I don't even think it's out there as much. But people even think like, oh, I should do some deep healing work even before I want to plan my pregnancy, or before, like anybody who don't have kids, start healing yourself now. Start going
No.
out. Start
Yes.
doing that work before you even get married, before even if you're in a relationship.
Mhm.
Start doing the stuff now. That is what is setting apart. Allow God to set you apart. Start diving. If you want to plan a baby, because you can, a lot of children, some people have an infertility issue, and I do this infertility issue is because the child is not coming forward just yet, is because the soul is not going to come through to a parent who is not prepared. So it's
Yes.
divine timing, and it's a mom and dad, the dad, are doing the work, the inner work. So look at it from that perspective as well. So if you think that okay, my body is this, everybody put it on their body. They put
Mhm.
it, oh, I'm infertile. No, don't only look at it like that. Also do the inner work of yourself. What are you not clearing? What are you not dealing with?
Yes.
What are you suppressing? What have you stuck under the carpet? What are you afraid to peel back? What are you don't want to look at you? That's one of my sweet clients. She said a few days ago, she's like, Narda, I have opened up old wounds. and it hurts. Well, that's a sign. I had to say, I share with her. That's the sign, my darling, of the fact that it's not healed. If the
Mm.
wounds are opened up and it's hurt, it still hurts. Because sometimes, you healed so much that you talk about it, it doesn't even affect you. You feel like, I embrace that was an experience in my life. And that's the place that we all need to come to, the place of acceptance that have happened.
We need to again underline that what you said. If it hurts, it's not healed.
Right, right, right,
If
right.
it hurts, it's not healed. That
Yeah. We don't pause for a cause throughout our life. When I say pause for a cause, that's a Trini thing that we say. But we don't pause to reflect. We don't pause to heal. We do not pause to before entering into any relationship. You just cover it up, and then you do not pause and say, okay, what does this relationship have taught me? What is what energy of things have popped up in terms of a woman to her father, a guy to his mother, a man to his mother, a woman. Your parents is the first example of a man and a woman in your life. The
mm,
dynamic that they played out, the dynamic that your aunties, your uncles, your grandparents played out, are also the society, even movies. Disney movies have programmed us in a very unrealistic manner. Like, what have been the influences in you, and what have you embraced and you have bought into? And those are the things you gotta peel back, like. And so pause for a cause, and literally, before entering into the next job, go
yes,
and dig and say, okay, what is this job? It's instead of looking at it and saying it have done to me, making yourself the victim.
it did for you.
Oh, it did for you. What it was
Yes.
teaching you. What was the opportunity? Because when you see climbing the ladder, moving up in life, moving up into your path and your journey, that job was a marker. It was a stepping stone to something else. That relationship was a stepping stone. It taught you
Yes.
what you didn't want. It showed you the contrast. So now you're
And we
beginning to
need that.
fine tune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beginning
Hi,
to fine tune.
Crystal.
Hi, Crystal. Yeah, fine
You have
tune
been
what you
on
really
from
desire.
episode one.
What's
And
that? Yes.
Crystal has been on from episode one, and she is on
Wow.
every week. Thank you, Crystal. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you. I went to school with Crystal as well. So
Oh,
I appreciate that support. The support loud. You're there, and thank you. But
yes.
yes, let's get into some hard work at this time because with all of this, whew, we're
Yeah.
open and ready to receive this hard work you have for us, Narda.
Okie dokie. I don't plan hard work before um, a talk or a session. So, based on piggybacking off of what we talked about so far,
Yes.
what is a practical exercise? I want, it's, my thing is definitely the heart. Let's tune into the heart, right? I want to suggest and offer up as an offering to everybody who's listening and watching this, whether it be today, a year from now, 10 years from now. Here's the thing. A lot of us are carrying in ourselves. Let's think about this as you, and there's layers of you or other things over you. That is what we said, back to the womb, back to all of that. And all of us have all these layers, and then we call it our personality. And because of experiences, it causes us to shut down, and it causes us to to retreat, and it causes us not to want to put up that heart wall, and not wanting to express and come out into the world and be a bright light because you're afraid of being hurt and deceived and all of that. So there's layers of other things, and there's also on top of that, there are layers of what we absorb from society and distraction and from people and from work and from conversations that you've had. So one of the very simplistic things I'll suggest for people is to begin to ground yourself first and foremost, every day, consciously, to have grounding moments. It doesn't have to be something first thing in the morning, but it would be recommended because you're beginning your day. Literally plant yourself in your physical body. Now, there's a lot of things, if you can get into psychology, we talk about this disassociation. When traumatizing stuff are happening and stressful experiences, you want to easily escape. And a lot of people escape through marijuana, through alcohol, through chocolate, through food, that comfort food, whatever. Everything is based on the meaning that you put to it, right? So my thing to everybody is like, come back to self. As we said, tune in, lean in. Leaning in, meaning going back to God. Come back to self. Grounding yourself into your physical body. How do you do that? You can, there's different techniques, there's different ways you can do it. But how I would suggest for everybody, as right now, let's do a little practice. Close your eyes. And As your eyes are closed, place your hand on your heart. I love that. Anything, I would use that, the placing your hand on your heart, right? And I want you to, as your eyes are closed, envision. We can use light coming from the Creator, which is the depth of the heavenlies, and coming down through your crown, coming through your physical form, all the way down through your legs, down, down, down into the earth, into the core of our divine Mother Earth. And the light is bright, it is healing, it is loving, it is peaceful, it is unbiased, it is unconditional. It doesn't even have words to describe this light, because this is a light of God. This is just a feeling of peace and calm. And as that light is in the core of the divine Mother Earth, the light is merging with Mother Earth's light. And the beautiful light that is at the core of this very earth. And it's literally merging, and as it's merging, it's coming back up through the layers of the earth, up through your feet, through your legs, your tummy, your throat, coming up through your head, back to God. And now we have established a flow from God to the earth to your physical body. And I always suggest, as you do this, you breathe in and out. Take deep in your belly breaths, because it kind of helps you to snap yourself into position. Now, that's the basic part of it. So now there's all this distraction around you in your mind, in the energy field. And as I use it as an energy field, as an energy field is like a bubble outside of us, connected to our physical form. We're all connected to each other because we are all one. We're all one with from one, which is God, divine creator. And there's all this disturbance in the energy field, but despite this, the disturbance, just envision it fizzling off. Envision it no longer has a charge into your mind or a charge into your heart. And continue to breathe. Deep in your belly breaths, breathe. Breathing in and out. And feel as you take that deep breath how you're releasing as well. You feel a little lighter with each breath, taking deep in your belly breaths. As I said before in other episodes, we don't really breathe. We breathe just to survive, but we need to breathe deeply to release as well. And as we breathe in and out, we let whatever distraction in our energy field like literally fall off. And your focus is back again on that light from God to the earth through your body, back into yourself. And remember, your heart is the brain of your soul. So think of it like that. Your heart is the brain of the soul in this physical form. And take deep in your belly breaths, and then open your eyes when you're ready. And as you open your eyes, just feel that. Feel how that intention of releasing might feel a little lighter. But it's so important to pause for a cause. And this is not praying. This is part of this getting your energy in alignment.
Love it.
Getting your energy in alignment like that. So as I said, like that. This is not praying. You pray, you meditate, you do other things together with your daily practice, and your moment by moment throughout the day. So the hard work is really to any part you feel scattered.
Yes.
You feel scattered, your energy is bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. That's the basic part of it. And try to feel yourself in your body. A lot of us live outside of our body, disassociated from our physical form. So that's why, yes, Sina, you're such a sweetheart. Yeah, that's why a lot of these things, we are disturbed and we can't think clearly, and our hearts are disrupted. You just bring yourself back, and breathe. So
I
that's
love
hard work for today.
I appreciate it. So if you have any questions, any comments, please put it in the comment section and we will address all questions in just a bit. So just put your questions or comments in the comment section and we will address that in a bit.
Yes.
Also want to say hi to Michelle Williams Wilson. She's been with us since episode
Yes.
one and has been
Michelle.
coming every week. So I'm happy that you're loving it and you're
Yes.
feeling what you're meant to is that we get to the depth, get to the core, middle of the week, but we get to the middle of the heart. Thank you,
Mm.
Michelle. Blessed day to you as well.
Thank you, Michelle.
So place your questions in the comment section, and in just a bit, we're going to answer any questions that
Yes.
you may have. But Narda, that was so
Oh,
beautiful. And
I'm glad.
it's a reminder that we must do the hard work, not only focus on the body, the
Yeah.
mind, but the heart, the spirit, we need to
Yeah.
focus on that as well.
You
So,
know, I have to share that the things that we share in in these episodes and these calls
yes,
is so profound. I hope everybody who's listening literally take a notepad and literally write and do things and use it for the week. Use it.
yes,
This is free, beautiful information we're giving. You know, it's from our hearts. We're just allowing God to flow through us as we understand that God is working through us. And I really do hope that people take it and run with it. And,
yes.
so
And if there's something that you want us to touch on as well, email us, Michelle
yeah.
Narda 444.
Questions, suggestions of what you want us to talk about, or even like, share. Thank you, Lori.
Laurie says, thank you both for sharing your gifts freely and fulfilling your purpose.
Aw.
Meantime, we have
Here's my
Margaret.
auntie, Auntie Margaret.
Hi, Auntie our auntie
Auntie,
now.
yes. My Auntie
Yes.
Margaret is my mom's cousin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hi,
she's such a
Auntie
sweet,
Margaret.
sweet soul. I always, ever since a little kid, I always sensed her energy and I always felt the sincerity and the love behind her. She have been nothing but authentic, kind, and sweet.
That is
You
magical. If she can
Mhm.
also cook and bake, that would be the cherry on the
And she
top.
lives in Rio Claro in Trinidad.
Okay. So Auntie
Yes.
Margaret says, great work, Narda and
Thank
Michelle.
you,
Beautiful.
Auntie.
Thank you. And Robert Headley says hello, and he says, hi, Narda. It's Rob from
I
Footprint.
know you, Robert. Oh my gosh, such a kickster. So the restaurant I used to work at back in the day, like 12 years ago, I left,
Yes.
named Footprints. And
Oh,
there are many locations throughout New York. And Rob is a former customer of mine.
wow.
And yes, he been a, oh my gosh, a jokester, sometimes an annoying jokester.
Yes.
He's a
Love
hilarious
it.
comedian.
Our
Yeah.
kind of peeps. And that is the Caribbean word for the day that we will teach you. Peeps
Yes.
is the equivalent of people.
Yes.
Peeps
Peeps.
equals people.
Peeps.
And if you're saying your people, it means your friends, your tribe, those that you connect with. You're welcome. And Michelle Williams Wilson says we need to apply it to our daily lives.
Yes. Yes,
And
please.
Robert still loves you, Narda.
Oh, Robert. Robert is representing Guyana, if I even so mention.
Okay, Diana, great to have you. A
Yes,
blessing.
Guyanese. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at this time, we want to thank you so very much for tuning in, for
Yes,
giving
yes,
us the
yes, yes.
opportunity to share with you, sharing
Yeah.
your energy with us, and allowing us to share ours with you. Sweet soul, it's been
Yes,
a true pleasure. We felt
indeed.
your light and your warmth.
Yes, and please
Loving.
share this video with somebody. Please share it with a friend, anybody who's going through anything. They don't like even have to be going through anything. Just share it around. Share it for that it is practical, down to it, profound information that we shared, and a topic of discussion of many beautiful things that you can have with your friends and your family.
Yes. So with that, we thank you. We give you loads of love and light. And
Yes,
next week, same time,
indeed.
same place. Yay!